Today I'm going to show you how to deal with your bigoted, far-right, problematic relatives this Christmas. And the only reason I know what to do is I have received a guide from City of Sanctuary UK. It's an open border charity. I've covered it lots on my Substack. Go there if you want to know all the details. But I've signed up to its newsletter because I saw that it was giving tips on how to deal with your problematic relatives if they want to talk about immigration, refugees over the Christmas table. We've all been there, you know, you're passing the Brussels sprouts over. Before you know it, you're discussing the asylum system. But luckily, City of Sanctuary UK, this charity that wants to turn the UK into sanctuary cities, you know, like the ones that they had in the US under the Democrats. Luckily, they've got this guide. So in my most recent newsletter about the guide, they write, "Hello, Charlotte. Seeing family over Christmas, you're not alone if you're thinking about these conversations you might normally shy away from. Maybe there's that uncle with strong opinions or a cousin who shares questionable posts online, and you care deeply about refugee rights but aren't quite sure how to bring it up without things getting ... tense. Well, we've got your back. Download our free Courageous Conversation Guide today and learn how to effectively respond to misinformation without making people feel defensive. Share stories that change perspectives, real experiences that resonate, bridge divides and make connections even across different viewpoints." Really helpful. So I've looked at this guide, how to start having courageous conversations. So remember, if you want to bring up these matters, bridge divides. Don't win arguments. No one likes to feel they've got it wrong. It can make people defensive and resistant to change. Speak from the heart. When we speak from the heart about something we're passionate about, people will listen. Why are you passionate about these topics? Or personal stories belong to us and are hard to argue with. Change the story. Facts alone don't change minds. Facts like the crimes that have been in the headlines quite a lot over the last year about men arriving illegally or seeking asylum and raping, murdering members of the population. No, those facts alone don't change minds. When we repeat what we are trying to discredit, we further reinforce it. So instead, we need to change the story totally. Calmly redirect and reclaim the conversation using bridging. I hear what you're saying. I suppose I see things differently. So that's what you're going to say to your problematic relatives if they bring up any problems with the asylum system while you're eating your Christmas dinner. Lead with shared values. Assume that people share the same values as you. This way, you will make your values seem like the norm. But let's be honest, these people do think that they are better than most of us and more moral. Actively listen. When talking to people whose opinions differ from our own, don't dismiss their concerns. Meet them where they are rather than where you want them to be. So, you know, if that problematic relative mentions, say, the Afghan man that is accused of stabbing to death Wayne Broadhurst in Uxbridge earlier this year, just actively listen, you know, don't dismiss their concerns. Listen and try to understand where they're coming from. Ask people open and non-judgmental questions. And then, who is at fault? Point out where our shared values are not being reflected in policies that make up the asylum system. Look after yourself. So if you are still dealing with this bigoted relative who brings up some of the problems in our asylum system, remember, look after yourself. You're not going to win everyone over. Trust your gut. If someone feels very set in their ways, save your energy and leave them to it. And magic formula, affirm. This shows that you're actively listening and helps to build trust. Bridge, calmly redirect and reclaim the conversation, connect, time to tell your story. Amazing tips from City of Sanctuary UK. Like I say, if you want to find out more about this charity, which was behind efforts to get schools to write Valentine's cards to asylum seekers, you can find it all on my Substack, and there are some videos as well all about its funders, one of which explicitly believes in open borders. And of course, if you want to know how to deal with your problematic relatives at Christmas, the guide is on their Instagram and online.